Hello and welcome. My name is Alexandra Kaludis, and I will be presenting on the basics of literature reviews. Literature reviews are a great way to familiarize yourself with the literature and perhaps get an early publication out if you don't have data for another project yet. This video will provide you with an introduction to the different types of reviews, including how and when you might use them. Let's talk next about what you can expect to learn from watching this video. At the end of this video, you should be able to recognize the different types of reviews, describe appropriate uses for each type of review, and identify preparatory steps for conducting a review in collaboration with a medical librarian. We'll start with a brief overview of the different types of reviews. While there are many ways to collect information on a given educational or research topic, there are formal and informal ways of conducting a search. We will review informal approaches, including the narrative or traditional review and the gray literature review. We will also discuss formal approaches, including systematic and scoping reviews. While the different approaches have their pros and cons, it is important to match the purpose of your review with the appropriate method. Let's begin with narrative reviews. Narrative reviews, also known as traditional reviews, provide readers with a broad overview of a topic and are commonly used for descriptive purposes. They are especially useful when the goal of the review is to gather high-quality information relatively quickly, such as for the background section of a manuscript or for a brief review of recent findings in an area. Sometimes there is not enough literature in an area to conduct a more comprehensive review, such as a systematic review, or a comprehensive review is not necessary. Because the author does not use a predetermined protocol or steps to collect the information, a large amount of information can be collected and presented fairly quickly. Not using a formal protocol can introduce bias into the review, but reviews require different levels of rigor based upon their purpose. When conducting a narrative review, information is typically collected from a variety of sources, including scientific databases. Pictured here are some databases where you may gather information for your narrative review, including a health sciences library, Google Scholar, and PubMed. There are many databases available through academic and medical libraries. The second informal review approach we will discuss is the gray literature review. Gray literature refers to materials published outside of traditional academic methods, like peer-reviewed journals, and may include government documents, conference abstracts, or information published on university websites. Like narrative reviews, gray literature reviews do not follow a formal protocol or procedure, although you may predetermine which types of sources you will examine. While they may not possess the rigor of formal literature reviews, they can provide a wealth of up-to-date information on how research is realistically being used and applied in a given area. Gray literature reviews can also serve as a method for gathering preliminary information prior to conducting systematic searches or complement other research methodologies. Now, we'll turn our attention to discussing formal approaches to collecting information. The two most common formal literature searches include systematic reviews and scoping reviews. Systematic reviews aim to critically assess and synthesize available research findings to answer a specific research question. They are often used to decide whether an intervention is effective, including an assessment of the strength of the supporting evidence. Meta-analyses, a type of systematic review, involve using data analytic techniques to synthesize multiple data sets to form a conclusion about the overall effectiveness of an intervention. For more information on conducting systematic reviews, please reference the course website. Let's turn our attention to scoping reviews, another formal approach to gathering information. Like systematic reviews, scoping reviews also use a predetermined protocol to systematically examine the evidence in a given area, but are usually much broader. Instead of asking a narrow research question about treatment effectiveness, scoping reviews seek to identify what evidence exists on a given topic or provide clarification on how something in the field is defined. Additionally, scoping reviews are helpful when exploring a topic where there is not a lot of published information available, such as in new or emerging areas. They may be ideally suited for exploring what evidence exists for using an innovative educational technique, for example. Systematic and scoping reviews are typically conducted in partnership with a medical librarian, and we'll talk next about how to prepare to begin one of these types of reviews. To maximize the benefit and increase the efficiency and productivity of your meeting with a research librarian, it is important to come to your meeting prepared. Some things that you can do in advance include drafting preliminary search terms based on your knowledge of the content area, providing the librarian with a few exemplar articles that match the type of results you hope to achieve, and learning introductory information about systematic and scoping reviews prior to your meeting. A sample worksheet describing how to prepare for a meeting with a librarian is posted on the course website. Let's now consider an example. If you wanted to conduct a review of the competencies for existing graduate and professional programs in health professions education, you might present the research librarian with some search terms including competencies, health professions education, or fellowship. You would also present the librarian with an exemplar article such as an article describing the HPEER competencies. The librarian would then convert the search terms to MESH terms, which refers to the medical subject headings used to search the library databases. The librarian would also help you select which databases to search and will typically run the searches for you. For information on how to sort through and review the findings of the literature review, consult with a librarian or your mentor. Additional resources are also located on the course website. We'll talk next about where to find some excellent resources on systematic reviews specifically. We have posted a series of resources on systematic reviews on the course website. Materials include videos, PowerPoint slides, and informational documents describing how to conduct and report on a systematic review. You may find the Painless PubMed video series created by Helena Vonville, medical librarian, to be particularly helpful. Today, we have discussed some of the different types of literature reviews, including narrative, scoping, systematic, and gray literature reviews, as well as their appropriate uses. We also reviewed some of the steps that you can take to prepare for a meeting with a medical librarian and introduced you to some resources on conducting systematic reviews. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. We hope that you have found this helpful. If you would like to know more about the content covered in this introductory video, please reach out to your site mentors or contact the HPEER Coordinating Center at vhahou_HPEER@va.gov. Here are some references that we used to develop this video. Please feel free to also consult your local medical librarian and our course website. We wish you the best of luck with your searches.